Hello, guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. And first and foremost, I wish to start off by saying a sincere apology to all of you guys for having missed our usual posting schedule and also for having removed a YouTube video. The reason was actually simple. During the time of that video, before even making it, we had some privacy concerns. Of course, we had talked it out. Then we put it out there, but then honestly there were certain privacy concerns raised by not just by us but by also by people close to us, including family and friends. And out of respect for themselves and out of respect for their wishes, as well as our desire to maintain a certain level of privacy with regards to certain details which have transpired in our lives, we have made the decision to take down that video. And
So that was one reason. One reason was also that we had a lot of things going on our personal front. Like we were just simply busy with work, life. We were taking care of our health. So I think all of this together combined may have caused the delay. As I mentioned in our previous video, I really apologize for that. But now we are back.
yeah, and definitely, we did not wish to do that, but now that is here, we will definitely try to stick to it. So, with due apologies, we would like to start off with today's video, the title of which is a clash of ideologies or viewpoints: why India and Pakistan can never ever be friends, in my opinion. And I would like to start off by saying that, like currently in India, it is a tense situation. There was, like, you call it a war, call it a full-scale conflict. I don't know what to call it. Neither one of us is a military expert. However, there was a series of engagements between India and Pakistan. Pakistan essentially, I mean, there was a terror attack carried out in Kashmir's Pahalgam where Hindus were selected out and butchered, Hindu men, but in particular. And this has links going back all the way to Pakistan. Of course, they denied it, but then they also denied the existence of Osama bin Laden, who was found living like 1 or 2 kilometers away from their army headquarters. So this is a country which is known for harboring terrorists and giving support to terrorism. In response to that, Indian Army carried out certain strikes. They struck back. Anyone who tells that they have official data of the casualties and ground reports is lying. As of right now, there are no confirmed news sources. There's no verified information as such. Therefore, I'm not going to comment on something that I'm not sure about. Definitely was a very stressful being in India, and I'm sure being in Pakistan. Just wondering what's going to happen. Both of the nations have nuclear weapons, so yeah, was not a definitely not an easy days. Instead of covering our national media, I think did a disservice to the nation. I won't speak for Pakistan because what happens in Pakistan is none of our business. But the Indian news media, most of the channels did a disservice by being excessively sensationalist, excessively shouting, "We have bombarded Pakistan." What are you doing? This is about the lives of people. This is about the innocent soldier of the Indian Army who's risking his life to defend his motherland. It is a serious business and should be conducted with due professionalism.
I think like I would add one thing here that sometimes, not sometimes, let me be straightforward, always.
Yeah.
The media in India is, they like, I have no words for them. They're really, they need to do better, I swear.
Yeah.
I seriously swear.
And I definitely would like to give credit where it's due, particularly the coverage by people like Mr. Shekhar Gupta of The Print. Very sober analysis. Another analyst I really admire is Mr. Tilak Devashir, who by himself is really good. Jaipur Dialogues too. Like they did a few, how do I say, trendy or sort of clickbaity headlines. But if you look at the analysis by Mr. Sanjay Dikshit, Colonel Ajay Rena, and Adi Achint, it was pretty sober, pretty rational analysis. Of course, they have their own point of view, but they have a rational analysis. But going away from all of that, I want to talk about why is it that India and Pakistan seem to be two countries locked in unnecessary perpetual conflict, and why has this been going on for so much time? And
I think that's a great idea because like we've all read about the history.
yes,
But somewhere we still have doubts, we don't know what. And I must say he knows his history better. So he has read a lot, I would say. So maybe you can start off.
Sure. So, in brief, the India and Pakistan were both formed on the 14th of 15th of August 1947, respectively. Pakistan says its day of independence was 14th. We say it's 15th of August 1947. Point is that on one day, India was divided, and West Pakistan and East Pakistan were created. East Pakistan is today known as Bangladesh. That's a story on its own. But point is, in the past 70 years, India and Pakistan have fought four major wars, and there have been countless bloody skirmishes, and so many people have lost their lives. And every conflict has certain political motives. I can go on in detail about what happened in 1947 with regards to Kashmir, what happened in 1965, which was arguably a stalemate, 1971, clear victory for India, 1991, which was Kargil, which was
1999, I think.
Sorry, 1999, Kargil. So, and I could go on and on, right? Oh, this side did this, then we did this. But I don't think that's it. I think the reason is somewhat more fundamental. I think the reason has to do with the core ideologies on which those countries were established in the first place. So, what is the core ideology upon which Pakistan was established and founded on? And Pakistanis in our comment section, if we have not been banned where you are, please get back to us and tell me if we are being right or if we are spreading fake news or misinformation. Pakistan was founded on a principle known as Do Quami Nazariya, which was an ideology proposed by Jinnah. It is known as the two nation theory, but nation is not a accurate translation of the word Qawm, because often like Qawm refers to more like an ethnicity. So the basic proposition put forth by Jinnah and people who believed in Jinnah's ideology was that Hindus and Muslims, ये दो अलग-अलग कौमें हैं, ये दो अलग-अलग तहजीबें हैं. That is, they are two nations, they're two distinct ethnic and cultural identities who can never coexist together in a peaceful and harmonious way. On the other hand, India's foundational principles were the exact opposite of that. They were espoused by the likes of people like Gandhi and Nehru, and even to some extent Savarkar, because Veer Savarkar believed that while India should be a Hindu Rashtra, he definitely wanted Muslims to live there because he thought that they are Hindus to begin with. Because of course, every Muslim in Pakistan was at one point a Hindu who had to convert, and very few of them maybe came from somewhere else. So this is the reason. So the thing is, if tomorrow there was somehow some miracle worked, which is not going to happen, but let's say I had a magic lamp and whatever, I was able to establish a state of peace between India and Pakistan, and they two became brothers. What would automatically happen? The thing is, when India and Pakistan were divided, they were divided along what is known as the IB, or international border. This boundary goes through Punjab. So Punjab, the Indian state, was divided into two, right? So the Punjabis on the Pakistani line of the Pakistani side of the border, and Punjabis on the Indian side of the border are all ethnically Punjabis. So they speak the same language, they have the same norms,
the same food as
the same
well,
food.
think, yeah.
So they are the same people, and the only difference between them is that of religion. It's a big difference, especially in the Indian subcontinent. Religion is a big part of people's lives. It plays a big difference, but that doesn't change who you are fundamentally and ethnically. So even if there was a state of peace, essentially these Punjabis would have excellent relations with each other, and we've seen this happen because whenever Indian Punjabis and Pakistani Punjabis meet each other in Canada or UK or Germany or wherever, they have great relations, because why wouldn't they? You know. However, what would then happen is that the people of Pakistan, right, would ask their own government and their own people, then तो मुल्क बनाया ही क्यों? Why did you form this country in the first place? If we just have to live in peace with the Hindus, if we have to have excellent relations with the Hindus, if we can go there and they can come here, then what was the whole point of this experiment of Pakistan? Because so by establishing peace with India, their whole Do Qawmi Nazariya fails. On the other hand, if there is peace between India and Pakistan, then India can always say, hey, our ideology, our viewpoint, which is unabashedly secular and which says that all religions can coexist peacefully in relative harmony, so on and so forth, that was the victorious one. So we win the ideological and narrative war. And this is something that Pakistani the people who run Pakistan, especially the Pakistani establishment, they really can't afford that. So I think this is the core reason why India and Pakistan are locked in a perpetual conflict.
And literally, like, I mean, this is an issue that if you live in India and if you live in Pakistan, you will see. But I mean, we have stayed abroad
Yeah.
and we have seen Indians and Pakistanis actually being okay with each other.
In Dubai, I played cricket with Pakistanis. In Germany, like I had very good relations with Pakistanis. I literally lived in the same dorm room with them. So,
I
and
mean, literally, like, I used to live, as I know I've told on this channel, I used to stay in the UK. There's a girl who used to live on our accommodation. She was so nice.
Yeah.
And she used to make the best food.
It's our food
yeah.
anyway. So
Yeah, exactly.
the another thing is that so there are two more factors, which is why there is continuous conflict. It is that the like it is said about Pakistan that all other countries have an army and the Pakistani army has a country. So the Pakistani army are the de facto rulers of Pakistan, and they have a disproportionate role in how Pakistan functions as a state. So if there is peace between India and Pakistan, then obviously the role of the army will reduce, which means that
exactly.
So today. The prime minister of like Pakistan, his name is Shehbaz Sharif, but no one cares about him. Whereas the real de facto leader is their army chief, General Asim Munir. That's the whole story. And in Pakistan's entire history, not a single prime minister of theirs has completed his full tenure.
Exactly.
Which just goes to show what sort of a country it is. Another thing is that whenever the Pakistan was the white man, right, the British man, he drew lines on a map, and those lines in the Indian subcontinent were drawn with blood. So when Punjab was divided, Hindus in Pakistan had to come to India, and Muslims from here had to go there. And there are horrific reports of what happened in the partition.
So it was a massacre.
There were multiple massacres. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe something like 10 million people died in that. If I'm misquoting the numbers, please, I humbly apologize to all the survivors and all the families. Like, this is not my intention, but there are reports, credible reports, I might add, that there were entire trains full of corpses which were sent from here to there and there to here. So many women were raped, so many children were abandoned, and the Punjabis on both sides of the border live with that trauma. So that bloodshed like shook Muhammad Ali Jinnah himself. And how ironic it is, right, that the founder of the ideological state of Pakistan, who said we are a Muslim country and so on and so forth, he used to eat pork and he used to drink wine. And if you think I'm lying, feel free to fact check me on this. This trauma has traumatized the entire subcontinent and has led to a blood feud. And that is why when I see the way North Indians and particularly people in the northwest of India talk about Pakistan and the way South Indians talk about Pakistan, there's a complete difference. Because by the grace of God, South Indians were spared from this horrific trauma that North India and Pakistan had to endure, where people were butchered. I mean, I had a friend. His father his grandfather migrated from Pakistan to Jammu in India today. And he said that his own Nanaji or his own grandfather was saved because a woman relative literally took off all of her jewelry and handed it to the people. Otherwise, they had placed a sword on his neck, and he was just a child. So this is just one story which I've heard with my own ears.
There might be millions.
There are millions of such horrific stories.
Exactly.
And this is why those two countries exist today, locked in this perpetual blood feud. And I won't be naive, and it's not really a war of two nation states. I don't see it as a war of two territories. I honestly see it as a war of differing ideologies and differing viewpoints. And in India, we have a saying, it's called Satyameva Jayate, which means that the truth alone will triumph. And I truly believe that Pakistan is based on a bunch of lies that they've told about themselves. One of them being that they are somehow superior race, or that they're somehow, well, many things which can be disproven by genetics and their history. And one day, I hope that the lies will break and the truth will come out.
And it's very sad. I mean, we would like to genuinely, we are with the families who have lost their loved ones in the 2025 Pahalgam attack.
Yeah.
And since that was the most recent one, as well as attacks that have happened before.
Yeah.
And like being an Indian, I think I speak with pride about our armed forces.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really there. They're protecting our country day in and day out.
Yeah.
So a big shout out to the Indian Armed Forces. I think I would do it in this video, being an Indian myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, we really hope that some conclusion would come to this
Yeah.
whole case.
I really want to thank, like Sharvari said, I also would like to extend my thank you to, like, all the people in the Indian Army, in the Indian Air Force, and as well as the Indian Navy. Uh, like the last 3 or 4 nights, we know how we have slept, but I
Yeah.
can't even imagine what you and your families go through on a daily basis. And yeah, I think
I
this is
guess
a
this is a good place to end the video unless
yes.
you want to add something.
I just want to add two things: Jai Hind and Vande Mataram.